Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Newsweek dated August 21st and says Turin Shroud study claims controversial cloth does date to time of Jesus. And I think this is really interesting. I think the last thing that came out about this was that people were like, nope, it's from like the Middle Ages or somewhere, like the medieval period, I should say, or the Renaissance or something like that. And now they're like, no, it actually does come from the time of Jesus, which is really interesting. I've always believed Jesus was a real dude. I think that's pretty much universally accepted. But this changes things. If this is real and that's really him on there, then yeah, I think things get really interesting. So let's see what this article here has to say. So the team of Italian researchers have entered the debate over the Shroud of Turin, the linen cloth believed by some to have been Jesus Christ's burial shroud. In a study published in the journal Heritage, the authors conducted dating work on a sample from the shroud, coming to the conclusion that it may be a 2,000-year-old relic. The shroud, which has long been the subject of intense scrutiny, features a faint image of a man that some believe is the body of Jesus miraculously imprinted onto the cloth. While the latest study does not discuss the question of whether or not the artifact was indeed Jesus' burial shroud, the authors did find that its age is roughly consistent with his time. As the findings challenge previous research supporting a medieval origin of the shroud, which is one of the most studied archaeological objects in the world. Yes, that's what I was referring to. I don't remember when that came out, but I think it's gone back and forth between like, this is from 2,000 years ago. Oh no, it's from the medieval period. Oh no, it's from 2,000 years. And, like, people just keep going back and forth. So I just thought, again, that it was interesting that studies come out saying, no, this is actually from, 2,000 years ago. So let's scroll down. Sorry, as I was scrolling down, I was just read this headline up here to be like, what? Was that something important? We're not going to go into that. While some studies have come to the conclusion that the artifact might be genuine, the scientific consensus leans towards the shroud being a medieval artifact and a forgery. That's the last thing I remember saying. And, that sucks, but it is something for people to believe in. But let's keep going here. It says, the shroud was denounced as a forgery by the Bishop of Troyes, Pierre de, I'm going to butcher this name. I can never pronounce French stuff right, and I apologize to anyone French out there listening to this. So Pierre, I'm sure I got that right, d'Arcis. I'm just going to say that because, again, I can't pronounce French things at all. That was in 1389, who allegedly identified the artist responsible. Nevertheless, the debate is ongoing, with uncertainties and alternative viewpoints persisting, hampering a definitive conclusion regarding its authenticity. Scrolling down. Among the research indicating a medieval origin for the shroud is pivotal radiocarbon study conducted in the late 1980s, which concluded that the linen dates to between AD 1260 and AD 1390, so still really old, corresponding with the artifact's first documented appearance in France in the 1350s. These results indicated that it was not the burial cloth of Jesus, of course, because otherwise Jesus lived to be a ripe old age of 1,000, what was it? 1,000, over 1,300 years old. We'll say it. I'm not doing math. 1,317. There we go. But some experts, such as the authors of the Heritage Study, argue that these tests might have been flawed due to contamination. Such arguments revolving the contamination hypothesis have previously been challenged as well. So why were theirs not contaminated, but the other ones were? As in the Heritage Study, lead researcher Liberato De Caro from the Institute of Crystallography in Italy and colleagues employed a novel method for dating ancient linen threads by inspecting their structural degradations using a technique known as wide-angle X-ray scattering. This was applied to a small sample from the shroud, which currently resides in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. The author said that the results of their analysis were fully compatible with analogous measurements obtained from a linen sample whose dating, according to historical records, is AD 55 to 74, and consistent with the hypothesis that the shroud is a 2,000-year-old relic. So this still would have been after Jesus was killed, but I mean, a couple of decades after that. But still, that's a fantastically old thing. Wow. Okay. Does the authors note that the results are only compatible with this hypothesis under the condition that the artifact was kept at suitable levels of average temperature, that's around 20 to 22.5 degrees Celsius, or 68 to 72.5 degrees Fahrenheit, and a relative humidity of 55 to 75% for 13 centuries of unknown history, in addition to 7 centuries of known history in Europe. Since the results do not agree with previous radiocarbon dating research, the author said a more accurate and systematic X-ray investigation of more samples taken from the Turin shroud fabric would be mandatory to confirm the conclusions of our study. And that's the end, I guess, so it just kind of ends. I just think this is really interesting. I hope it is actually the real, like, it's the real burial shroud of Jesus. And I think that just changes a lot of things in the world if it turns out that that's really him on there, capital H for him. And I just find this, like, this religious history stuff fascinating, to be honest. And again, I hope it is. I'm kind of mumbling here, but anyway, do you think it's real? Let me know what you think about this and any other things you want to say about the Shroud of Turin in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.